This week's A to Z Guide to Modern Life is brought to you by the letter E. And E is for environment. But we're not talking about just any old environment, no, because we're talking about the environment. Here's our guide to the environment. Global warming, it's all the rage. Greenhouse gases, carbon footprints, renewable energy. Nice, but what does it all mean? A few years ago, there was planet Earth, happily spinning around the place, orbiting the sun and the likes, when along comes mankind, who wants to muscle in on some of the action. So just like a bull in a china shop, he decides to wreck everything. How? By revolutionising industry. Typical bloody man, eh? Since the Industrial Revolution, mankind's been stomping around the planet like he owns the bloody place, leaving these carbon footprints and that. Well, by all accounts, carbon is no good to anybody. No, it floats around in the atmosphere, heating up the planet. Or something. Now, granted, on the surface, that doesn't sound like such a bad thing. I mean, we could use a bit of heat in this part of the world after all. But oh no, it's not a good thing, because it is in fact a bloody catastrophe in waiting. And what is more, we're all doomed. You see, if you heat up the planet, what's it going to do? What's it going to do? I'll bloody tell you. It's only going to melt the polar ice caps, isn't it? What's that going to do? That's going to raise sea levels. Give that 10 years, Great Yarmouth is going to be under the sea. We can't have that. And so, friends, the time has come when we must all pull together and save this here planet from its ultimately inevitable demise. And here's our guide to saving this here planet from its ultimately inevitable demise. Recycle. I know it's a pain in the arse. No more simply tossing your bottles, cans and newspapers in the bin, brushing your hands and moving on. Now you've got to wash them up, store them, and then struggle with them down to the recycling bins. Turn your bloody boiler down. I know it's cold and wet and miserable outside, but really there's no need to recreate Barbados during a heat wave in the comfort of your own home. Oi, leave the car at home. Get on your bike, you lazy bloody sod. Then you can not only benefit from looking like a bit of a tit, you'll also gain the moral high ground and you'll be able to flick V's at all those pollutant bloody car drivers. Offset some of that carbon you've been creating, you filthy bastard. Go plant some trees. Have you any idea how much water you waste flushing away a piss? I'll tell you, loads. So from here on in, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, let it drown. Don't be polluting the place by flying off to exotic locations for a fabulous holiday. No, have a shit holiday closer to home. Tough measures, I know. Some real sacrifices to be made there. Perhaps we all need to be spurred on. What we recommend is keeping a picture of Great Yarmouth in your wallet just to remind us of what we might lose if we don't all act now. And now it's time for the great debate. Last time we asked, is it irresponsible to ignore nutritionists' advice and rather than eat 5 portions of fruit and veg every day, simply drink beer and smoke fags? The general consensus is that it is irresponsible, so we recommend that you punctuate your consumption of beer and fags with the odd bit of fruit and veg thrown in between. This week we ask, should them posh toffs who live in Chelsea, who go around polluting the place in their gas-guzzling Range Rovers to drop the bloody kids off to grammar school, be shot point blank directly in the anus with a taser, or should they be spared and made to do community service instead? Post your comments answering either yes, they should, or no, they shouldn't, and I'll give you the answers next week. So there you have it, friends. E is for the environment. And yes, I know, saving the planet feels like a thankless bloody task sometimes, but let's just all remember Great Yarmouth. Yeah? Next week, the A to Z Guide to Modern Life is brought to you by the letter B. I hope I'll see you then. Ah! Cold tea?